it's Matt Does Games, and I'm back with a very, very cool and awesome news. That is a new freaking 2v2 noob tournament. And this time, it's not a small crowd. It's actually quite a good amount of people. It's going to be a total of 20 people, so 10 teams of two. And we are going to do it to where it's going to be one experienced player and one inexperienced player on a team versus one experienced player and one inexperienced player on a team. And so here's some of the rules that we have. It's a Swiss type tournament. It's going to last for 4 weeks because we got to go through all these games and it'll be 4 rounds. And then you will have to play as NATO and PACT, and everybody is going to be designated on one map each round. And then we're going to switch the maps every round, so it won't be the same map over and over and over. And then of course you have to send in a replay so we can prove that you won, because you don't want cheaters. And then if a team didn't show, you just you get a bye and you get +1. So the maps that we have, the very first round, it's going to be Death Row. Then it goes to 2 ways, Black Forest, and then 2 lakes. If you win, you get 1 point. You lose, you don't get a point. A bye, you get 0 points. So pretty basic stuff, honestly. Nothing too outlandish or crazy. And then we have the brackets. So I had to cover some of it up because there's already been some results for some games that have been played. But today we are going to be seeing NALYD, Silver Garu, and Mist and Anarchist face off, of course, on Death Row. So you'll be able to see the brackets, and then we can kind of follow along each episode. I'll post a new updated bracket as long as there's no spoilers. But thank you guys so much for watching. I think you guys will really enjoy this. This game you're watching is not of the tournament. It's just a random game I was playing where I did pretty well. But I just wanted, I just thought I could have something be showing, so it'd be good. But anyways, let's jump into the game. All right, guys. Oh boy, here we go. So Anarchist and Mist are starting off as the 3rd Armored Division. Mist is sending out an Eagle to do some scoping, and NALYD actually has a HE bomber that instantly gets taken out by that F-15 Eagle. So NALYD is playing as the 7th Panzer Division, and I believe Silver is playing as the 79th Infantry Division. So yeah, so this is pretty exciting. We're back on the grind with our tournament. So now we have two team members, and one is an experienced player and one is a not so experienced player. So right off the bat, NALYD's trying to get some points, so he goes ahead and takes that sector, and he's moving up some motostruckies, and he also does have an ATGM unit that he'll probably hide along these tree lines. Silver is keeping an eye on the right side, so something that I think that is a good tactic to handle is have your team take 1/2 of the map in Death Row. So Silver is going to be taking, from their perspective, the right half, while NALYD is taking the left half. But man, Anarchist has a lot of infantry getting ready to push. Also, sorry that I sound nasally. It is crazy allergies lately, so I am dealing with that. And of course, it's right on tournament time, because why not? Ooh, and that recon unit just took that out. All right, I have to do my sniffles. I'll try and mute when I do my sniffles. So it looks like we also have a ATGM unit. I mean, I think these are fun, but not a really good spot for an ATGM unit though, because of where they're located. But it's probably going to get that T80 if he doesn't reverse, which he does. The ATGM unit would be better suited if it was in the trees or something like that. But it looks like, wow, Anarchist is taking quite the hike with his infantry. Look at this. They're like, oh gosh, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. That is a long con type of move. Silver has a really good foothold right here with a bunch of infantry, but you got to be careful with that, because while he has a really good foothold, they're all together and they're bunched up. Something that I've kind of learned now with all of the air support lately. If you bunch up, someone's going to drop it. It's like Anarchists, like, this is a tricky spot because you're moving all of your troops through this little thing of things. So what are they going to do? What any sensible person would do, and they drop an HE bomb. He actually is going to drop 2. Looks like Anarchist and Mist kind of planned this together. Awesome teamwork on that. Wow. HE doesn't really do too much to that, but man, and Silver has a really, really good foothold on this right flank. Not a whole lot inside the actual center, but it looks like NALYD's plan was, well, let's get us some free points while we can, give us a little bit of a breathing room. It's only 100 things, so why not our Silver's idea? These mech rifles are going to blow up that BMP. Oh, they missed. But this HA Abrams should be able to do the trick. It might not be able to see these other things. I mean, that's going to hurt. Kinda. So there goes the BMP. It does look like these infantry units are about to come under fire. They're going to get a good flank on that BRM. Let's go back over here. NALYD is somehow managed to make some sort of a push. And then Anarchist has his cheap M113A3 is just kind of chilling and to take these out, and that is going to take like the whole match for them to get through. Like that will take like the whole match. Silver's doing a kind of an interesting push. I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to take this area and then use this line of sight trees to go all the way over here. But we have another cluster from Anarchist probably trying to take out these Strelas. He loses his plane, but he took out one of the Strelas. NALYD is doing a bit of a push with this infantry, realizing he doesn't have much of a chance. He's going to run for the trees to get some cover. At this point in time, it might be good to send up your T-72s to help. And then Silver is taking a very interesting approach, which is working. I'm not really sure. They must have did a lot of dedication on air, because there is not a lot of infantry or vehicles on this side. Seems that Anarchist has pretty much dedicated all of his resources over here on the right, and while Mist has not as many on the left. But man, these Machutsins are just pushing through, and they got even more coming to run through, and NALYD's got even more with some BMPs. That is going to be a problem. He's just got this, so he's got another HE bomber. I think that's why you're not seeing a lot of infantry, is because they're using a lot of bombers, and they're kind of just trying to get eyes, and he must not have eyes yet, so he's backing away. So NALYD doing what NALYD does well, which is pushing, has managed to push into the area. So you have to be kind of careful when you do these pushes, and you push. You're probably going to lose a lot of people. When that happens, any person, if they survive the push, knows he just lost a lot of people. Now I push, and you do a counter push. But NALYD has a really, really strong push here, and he's using these BMP-1s, which are like more infantry. And that is going to be a huge problem. So far, no one's at an advantage because we're right here, but they should probably call in a command vehicle because that one's in trouble. And you don't want to put yourself at an even bigger disadvantage. But this cluster should do some damage. Did it drop it? I didn't see it. Yeah, it did. You can see it right here. Actually, it really didn't, but man, what a push, though. Holy moly. Really cool view right here. M1 Abrams shooting. Should probably turn him, though, because he's kind of showing his side a little bit. And here they go with their other one, so that's going to put them at a +3 advantage. And NALYD still hasn't even put one here, and he's calling even more Machutsins. And that Weasel doesn't even stand a chance. And Anarchist and Mist are looking like they're in a bit of trouble, especially with this type of push coming in. I think he kind of got lost in the micro, and he just has these guys in the car, and he didn't unload them. He must be focusing on other things, so now he realizes his mistake, but he just lost those mech rifles, and that's a big loss, because they're really powerful. That F-16 Eagle's doing some damage, I'll tell you what. NALYD is just going to overwhelm with infantry. And now NALYD's even calling in some cheap tanks. Cheap tanks taking out cheap units. For some reason, that Stinger's just... Well, I guess it's kind of in the tree line, but this isn't looking good because now Silver has a foothold on the left, a very good foothold, and NALYD is starting to push on the right. And this push is kind of interesting because it's going to come up from behind him. Man, Anarchist and Mist just had those eagles fly around. How much fuel do they have? And this, I mean, this could work, but I don't know. Like, do these guys have? I don't know. Can they even blow those up? He sends them over the rocks, so they're actually visible, and they're not protected by the trees. Really, Silver could definitely move up here. He could take this whole sector. NALYD's trying to move his T-55s all the way around. What an interesting push this is. I don't think I've ever seen a push like this in DEATHROW. Really strong attack here. These Machutsins just freaking firing into that. It's not looking too good. And now Mist is concerned because he's like, oh shit, my whole left is completely ruined. And then even a HE bomb comes flying off, but I don't think that really did anything. But Anarchist is doing a good job. He managed to do a back flank, but right into that, NALYD's T-55s will be there to assist. I think that's what's going on. They're having to focus so much on dropping bombs that they don't have any like people on the ground. And man, this is where this looks like this might be the killing blow here, guys. I don't see how they're going to be able to get through this amount of forces. Out of desperation, they're calling in a command unit here. It's not looking good. This Apache's doing what it does best, which is seesawing. And that Apache's gonna get blown up soon. See you later, Apache. Honestly, I've debated just straight up not even having helicopters in my deck. I'm like, why do I even do this? Yeah, Strella's doing something weird. So, this isn't gonna do much. I just find it really interesting that, I mean, they just got completely pushed. I mean, it's look at all these Panzerjägers, these Machutsins. They're just gonna slowly push towards that, and the cluster bomb's gonna kill it. NALYD's completely taken that side. This HJ Abrams is completely surrounded with a poor. Leave him alone. He's just a transport truck. Somehow that Stinger's still alive. And I think at this point, they're just like, well, I don't think we're going to win this one. And this is going to be a total victory, which is huge for NALYD and Silver. And they're just, man, total domination on this round for NALYD and Silver. These two tanks aren't going to... They're not going to be able to take out all that infantry, and if they did, it would take way too long. For some reason, they have a Pivads that's like super far out, I guess. I mean, at that point, you might as well put them all the way over here. Now they're just sending in Weasels to see if they can find any anti-air, but it looks like pretty much all of them have infrared, which I don't think the Weasels can see that. Man, they're going to go all the way to their spawn, aren't they? Funnily enough, they're still at a +3 because they haven't gotten any of the command vehicles up there yet. I mean, they don't really need to. Sorry if you hear me sniffling. This tank is actually doing, you know, considering it's doing okay. Man, our RNG is not on the side of the T-80BB. Finally. Man, that tank did some damage to it, though. It's the little things. Keep sending out those Weasels, but they're not really doing anything. These tanks are just trying to stay alive. They're just trying their damnedest. And it's just... I'm curious if I was looking on their perspective, like what they were ordering. I think maybe they went really ham on air, and that caused them to not have any bodies, but the amount of forces that NALYD has, I mean, it would take forever to even get anything there. And the thing is, he still hasn't even put a command unit there. He did, but for some reason it hasn't populated in here yet. I don't know why. There it goes. Sometimes it just takes a little bit. So that'll be a +5. That's the thing, is you kind of have to like pick your battles. Alright, so getting a foothold and having a strong foothold is what can make or break this game. So getting command points early, I mean, that's cool. You give yourself a little bit of a cushion, but you know, eventually it'll all even out. And now they're just trying to do anything to give them a chance. Somehow NALYD managed to sneak his infantry all over here, and he's going to get right behind that Panzerjäger and blow him up. Oh, but now the tank sees him. Oh! And the Panzerjäger get it off. Looks like over on this side, Silver even sent in a command unit. He's got all of these guys along the tree line because they haven't found any resistance. They just kind of walked right up. See, at this point, yeah, like the plane is useful, but you're also bringing in no troops. So while it's good, and like, will it even kill anybody? Don't even think it will. He's having to guess because he doesn't have any troops, so he doesn't have any eyes, and he's just assuming there's people there. You have to find that that happy medium. Man, those sappers get annihilated, and Silver's now using his his transports as recon. He's like, go to your death. That was a pretty good cluster. Did some damage. And man, Silver has all these guys in these trees, completely surrounded. And it's just, if you look at the mini-map, just like seeing the amount of forces compared to theirs. They just can't stay alive to save their lives. But I think it's because they just keep buying planes, and they're not buying anything else to stock them up. I think that's the issue. Because, okay, you're blowing them up, which is cool, but you're not changing the line. So, I mean, at this point, they're going to be all the way in this city. Cooking some boigas. Just right off the bat, you know, they just were relentless, and you know, that's some of the ways you got to do it too. You just gotta. This HA should kill that, yeah. So you just kind of have to. Sometimes you're like, all right, fine, I'm just gonna run at you, punch you in the mouth, and see how you react. I think that's what NALYD and Silver's plan was. Let's do a relentless push. And also, you know, you can do a relentless push when you don't have to worry about, you know, getting killed. Yeah, that was a what you would call a total victory. NALYD, funnily enough, Silver was actually negative in kills, but whenever you do big pushes like that, it tends to happen. I'm gonna add mist. But yeah, very, very impressive game by NALYD and Silver. They're definitely a team to be afraid of just off of that first round, but there's still a chance because we do play 2 games, so we're going to jump into the next one, so let's see how that one goes. Alrighty, round 2. So Silver and NALYD are both playing as the FS Jaeger. Really fun division to play as, and with that, they are going to be I said they're playing as the FS Jaegers. I mean, that's essentially why you play as them, but they're playing as the 2nd Panzer Division, and with that, they're going to be doing a push with their FS Jaegers so they can get a strong beginning push with their infantry, and even doing an FS Jaeger command push where instantly, right off the bat, they're going to get a +3. And then Silver is also setting up his FS Jaegers here. You have a mixture with the recons and the infantry. The Spetsnaz GRUs are actually going to probably do a good amount of damage, but with Silver calling in a F3 unit, yeah, he needs to have them land quickly. This push is a dangerous one because you just let them out in the open. The Spetsnaz, they're tough, but I don't know about that stuff. That lands right on top of them, and they're having to retreat. And this tornado is no joke. And it looks like most of them, I think, are playing against the 39th. I can actually look right here. Or 79th, my fault. 79th. So learning from their, I think they learned a little bit, and they're like, hey, we need to get some infantry here, but still Anarchist is kind of hiding in the side and has nothing in the center, so if Silver could literally just walk right in and get a whole baseline along here and make it even harder for it to take, and Anarchist looks like he's spending a lot on good tanks, but these tanks don't have a lot of eyes because they have all these recons all bunched together. Like, I think with these BRMs, he would be much better suited if he had kind of one with the tanks so they can see, because right now these tanks are going to have to get right on top of these individuals and they're going to get shot. I mean, look at how the tank is situated. It has to reverse itself so it doesn't have his butt showing. But right off the bat, you know, they're already in a lot of trouble, and I think Anarchist was trying to do some sort of flank, but you should at least establish a foothold in the center, because if you don't, well, the other person's just going to take it. So they're already kind of at a rough spot, and NALYD's calling it a cluster because he's actually kind of just using these guys as bait. He's like, kill me, I don't care, I'll take your tank with you. And it works. I think these guys are pretty cheap, so he wasn't really too hurt by having them die, and I think he's going to try and do the same, because I think he saw this other tank, and Silver's calling in a tornado to do something, kind of waiting to see what they need to do. NALYD almost is, he's trying to protect his infantry from bombers, so he's bringing up these Jeopards who are ridiculously strong and I think need to be nerfed. And Anarchist is just kind of has these guys in the back, and not too sure what's going on there. And just like that, that tornado, if you didn't say evac, is going to turn around, but it looks like the tornado's leaving, which is bad timing for NALYD, and Silver, good timing for Anarchist and Mist. It does look like Mist is calling in some Monostrekis. These 185s will get in some trouble if they can get these Monostrekis in on them. Kind of just has these recons waiting to see. I think what kind of happened was they got flanked so hard that he's like, all right, you're not going to flank me this time. I'm going to leave these recons here, and I'll know if you're flanking me. Oh, my allergies. I want to die. Hopefully this Claritin kicks in. Am I right? Also, this video is brought to you by Claritin. Anyways, Anarchist is bringing up this BRDM. Yep. He's going to put it right in the center of the town, it looks like. Kind of, I think he's trying to stop them from getting this +3 advantage, and I think he's going to put them like right in this tree line. And the moment that walks in, they're going to call it a plane and bomb it. You'll probably see an attack beacon of some sort. Once again, NALYD's doing what NALYD does best, and he's doing a strong push. He usually will have infantry paired with recon. Honestly, if you're doing an attack and you see that, just kill the recon first so they can't see. And here comes this. If they're focusing on their micro, you should see an attack on beacon right where they think. If they do that, they might not, but that's what I do anytime I see a command unit. I'm like, attack on beacon. Surprisingly, I haven't seen a plane get called in. The moment I see that stuff, I just kind of assume that's where they kept it, and I say attack on beacon, and then I send a plane and I bomb it. But this only puts them at a +2 advantage. Still in a pretty tough spot. Look, what did I say? Silver's like, just call anything. They're gonna bomb this whole tree area. So after you do that, when you do this, wait for the line to change and then move your guy out of there so you don't get hit. But luckily, it looks like they lucked out. So they missed. They went to the wrong spot, and I think that's another reason why you do attack on beacon, because then you can see, you just know you aim literally right where you put it. But at this point, he needs to move slightly, because they're going to start guessing. But luckily, these anti-airs took those planes out, kind of stopped, kind of thwarted that attack. So they're no longer at an advantage. We're kind of at a stalemate, but man, this line is not looking favorable for them at all. NALYD, once you get into this spot, you have all this room to do a flank. So, and now they're back to a +2 because NALYD put that backline in. They haven't sent any command units into here yet, which they, at this point, should, because it's not looking good. Do I hear a plane? Looks like we have a HE unit come flying in. Let's see what it can do here. So Anarchist is using these recons pretty well to kind of help the plane see where to fire. And that's going to hurt. Wow. Wowza. I just killed like 4 units, I think. This is always good too, so if you have a foothold, send some anti-air up and then send your tanks so you know they'll be protected from helicopters and potentially planes. Looks like Anarchist is doing a good job pushing on this side though. He's taken out that right side push. He's got a good mix of recon with his tanks. I think he has a little too much. I think he'd be better suited moving that recon. Also, I think this recon needs to move up just slightly so the T-80U can see better. He's bringing this here to protect his command unit. This sapper is gonna have no chance in hell. And it looks like we have another command vehicle coming in. I think he's gonna try and sneak it like right here. And missed trying to stop them. Is gonna try and put a command unit right here, right on that tree line. So it looks like Anarchist has lost his tanks. He's down a couple tanks now. Not a whole lot of stuff to kill Anarchist with. I mean, this BRM is actually doing quite well. And Silver's kind of forgetting about it, probably because... So he put it right there. I'm sure NALYD saw where he put it. And man, these guys are doing great. He needs to... Hopefully Mist is paying attention. He is. And Anarchist is actually calling out an HE unit. Probably right on these guys. Yep. That's going to do some damage. I don't think it'll kill this, though. No, it doesn't. We got another plane coming in. It's a cluster. That'll do some damage. That's going to take out all those guys. Bye. Yeah, that plane just took out 3 units. Not very strong units, though. And now, like... Just calling in some BRMs, probably out of desperation. So he's calling in the recons to be with the tanks. But man, look at all these guys that they're... This is, I mean, they're putting up a fight, but I don't know how long they're going to be able to hold. Got another plane. These guys really do like to use planes. Maybe that's why they have so much recon too, so they can actually see where to drop their bombs. That cluster is gonna be in some trouble. Well, I wonder, NALYD. I wonder. Well, what do you think he's gonna do? Do you think he's gonna aim for the BRDM? No, he's aiming for these tanks. Ah, that's a lot of tanks all clustered up. Oh no. Yowzer. Yeah, you gotta be careful when you do tanks. Like, together, you know, they're awesome, but you gotta really spread them out so you don't all get hurt. Yes, it causes a lot of micro. You can have them walk up to the zone together, but then after that, make sure they're kind of spread out in a way that if one unit got bombed, it'd be the only unit to be bombed. But now this is putting them at a +5. Because they have this now. Oh, I didn't even... Wow, sorry, Silver. I totally missed that. He actually moved his units up and took out that command unit, so this might be the final killing blow for Anarchist and Mist, unfortunately. Right here, though, he does have a lot of tanks. And he's sending up a logistics to try and heal them. But it looks like Anarchist, out of desperation, is sending in a BMP that's just going to get demolished by that FS Jaegers once they see it. Well, or a leopard will kill it. And once again, calling in planes, but at this point, it doesn't matter because you don't have any bodies on the points, and you kill one person and then they'll just grow another one back. That looks so cool. That plane's gone, so they're probably almost out of planes by now. And Anarchist surrenders, and the game is over. Unfortunate. Alright, maybe I'll be able to breathe one day, but that means that NALYD in silver will be going on to the next round. Anarchist had missed, unfortunately they weren't able to aggressively take the center. And when the center falls, it's pretty much over on death row. So hopefully, they learned a few lessons and will, adapt and overcome those certain things. But Silver and Elite seem to have a really good repertoire. I don't know, I'm being stupid, but they seem to have a pretty good, synergy and work really well together. So I think anybody facing that team should be quite nervous for the next round. So definitely keep an eye out for NALYD and Silver. We still have a lot of games to go for the first round in the Noob tournament. So definitely stick around and be on the lookout for other videos because we have a good amount, and I will even be playing in the tournament, and it will probably go a way of certain ways. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.